Good morning everyone, this is Howard of avtransfers.co.uk. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're looking at the RetroScan Universal. I believe this is the Mark II, a really excellent piece of kit and a key part of our business. We do a lot of film transfers, and this puppy does a lot of excellent scanning of films, and we've been using it for some time and had pretty much good service from it. Today we're going to be looking at replacing the current clutches. So if that's something that interests you, or if you have one of these and you'd like to watch our video, please stay tuned. I've been through the instruction manual, the disassembly and reassembly instructions. They're quite complex. On reviewing the instruction manual, it seems pretty clear. It involves a bit of drilling, a bit of finagling to make sure all the tolerances are right, but I think we should do it. So what I'm going to do first is remove the motor, the entire motor assembly here from the machine. As you can see, I've actually stuck left and right on there, and when I disassemble it, I'm going to mark the motors as well, left and right, so that when I disassemble them I don't get confused, although I plan to work on the left as a unit and right as a unit. Depending on which clutch system your machine has, there's two types of clutches and you need to identify which one you've got. Mine is, I think, the later clutch, which is a sort of a metal housing, and I'm just going to go through the instructions as best as I can. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is grab my handy screwdriver and unscrew this area. So there's one. I'm going to have to be quite pedantic about where all the screws go, because I don't like losing screws, and I certainly wouldn't want the machine to look blemished in some way because of my failure to put things straight. Now, the other thing I must point out is the clutch kit comes with a number of its own new bits. There's a drill bit, there's one or two hex keys, and okay, so that one's unscrewed. Let's take this out. It's a bit heavy. I don't know what this material is, and you'd think, oh, it was just a little small motor in here, but this is a chunk of meat. I mean, this is a chunky goodie. So that's the first motor assembly. I've got the side panels on my machine. Some machines don't have the side panels. This is to allow me to run bigger films. The screws, I'm just going to leave them in the bottom of this casing because they don't need to be anywhere else. Inside here I've actually got an older clutch, and this was a replacement. This was a failed clutch, and I was kind enough to receive a replacement part as a loaner, so this will be returned to movie stuff in due course when I finish doing the upgrade. So looking at the back panel here, see, can you see that? Disconnect all cables from the existing terminal block. At this point, to disconnect the motor from the machine, you will find an RCA connection inside that goes to the motor, and you can just simply unplug it here. So, and then of course to reconnect it later, you reinsert the plug back in there. If you look at the motor, there are no markings on it. I'm just going to, again, out of an abundance of caution, I'm going to write L. Okay, that's the left motor. So you can see it there, left. And you can see by this assembly, I mean, this is incredible. Okay, so taking a look now what I've removed from the machine. Two motors, which I'm going to strip down in the other room. The backup hexagon set, because you never know, hexagon Allen key set. And a copy of the instruction manual. One is how to remove the old clutch, and then two is to put the new clutch in. And I'm going to do obviously one clutch at a time, one side at a time, because obviously if I was doing this all day, I'd probably get really good at doing it. But initially the first one's going to be a bit of hit and miss. So let's get that inside and crack on. Okay, so I've got everything inside now, and I've got the two motors here, the motor assembly, shall I say. I've put a towel down just so that the screws and things don't go rolling off. I've got the instructions. I've got the various new pieces of hardware as well from the kit. You'll see here there's a whole lot of stuff going on in here. There's those, and of course the two new clutches. And I'm going to try and video the whole process from start to finish and show you how we go. The instruction, I've got clutch type A. So let's get the removal booklet separate from the installation. So we've got the removal and the installation. The installation, we're going to do that in a separate chunk. Okay, so using a number 2 Phillips screwdriver, disconnect all cables from the existing terminal block. Okay, well, I guess that would be this one. I'm going to try and make sure that you can see what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So we've got, I guess, plus and minus from the motor, and okay, so there's four wires, the motor, and what this actually goes to the clutch. I suppose that's a remove the screws holding terminal block. So okay, let's do that. Oh, I guess I'm going to need to get a glass or a cup or something just to put all the loose screws in. Let's go get a glass to put all the these screws in. Okay, so those screws I guess I'm going to need again, and this is the old connector block. Take that off. Okay, so that's page 1 of that done. Okay, using the provided 332-inch hex wrench, do that. Loosen the set screw on the flex joint. Okay, so he has supplied that tool. So let's find a 332. I'm going to take this out of the new bag of goodies. I'm going to see what's in here. I see 2 hex keys. Are there any more? There's a third one. I don't want to lose any of these. That's a bag of stuff, isn't it? Okay, so now we're going to look for to loosen the set screw. The set screw is this guy. How many set screws? There's just one set screw. So let's find that set screw, shall we? There it is. Okay. Let me see if I can give you a better view on that. There we go. I think that should be about right. Okay. I think that's going to be quite loose. Let me just take it out a little bit more. There's a washing machine in the background. Pardon my washing machine. Okay, so we have loosened that. Move the screws holding the motor in place. Do not lose the screws or the spacers. Okay, so this is when videos are quite useful, because we can see here we've got a screw, a nylon washer, and what looks like a rubber washer. So let's just take one off now. And these are probably all fairly loose because I think I've probably done this before. Oh, there we go. Okay, so there's the screw. Put that down, and if we look inside, you can see there's a metal washer. This, okay, that seems quite fast. I'm not going to pull it off just yet. Same thing here. This one seems a bit looser. I must just comment that the quality on this machine, this one's loose, okay, is excellent. Really excellent. I mean, you know, made in the USA stuff, still the best if you can get stuff made in the USA. I think he said wiggle it, jiggle it. Okay, we'll come back to that. We're loose. And, oh, there we go. That was easier than I thought. Wow, that is quite something. Look at that. Okay, the take-up and rewind motors are different according to this. Be sure to keep them separated. I seem to have some goop on my hands from something. Pull the motor clutch assembly from the platform. We have done that. Okay, so we've done step 1. Okay, remove the existing rubber isolation mounts. Another one of these. Now, I think you need to allow yourself quite a bit of time to do this, because this is not something you can do in a rush. Okay, so we have removed the isolation feet. I'm trying to keep everything in a nice tidy way. Okay, so using the provided, loosen both set screws on the collar of the existing clutch. Okay, so hang on, let's have a look here. He's indicated both sets screw on the collar. Okay, I'm sorry, there are two on the same side. Okay. So these are the same size as the other one. Let's see if we can get those out. Oh, nice satisfying click sound. That's always good. Okay, that's one. And two. Okay, this is going to come out. Oops, there it comes. Was that right? Yes. That looks correct. Okay, that's come apart nicely now. So let's see, according to this picture, what have we got? We've done it right. Remove the clutch from the motor shaft. Okay, so now we've got a couple of pieces here that are very interesting. We've got the motor, which I think you keep. The entire clutch assembly, I don't know if this part is going to be reused. Okay, the next step of this is to do with the electronics, and that I'm going to do in a separate part when I finish doing the physical installation. So to me, this is all electronic, and I'm going to do that as a separate section. So pages 3, 4, 5, 6 are electronic, so we're going to put that to one side for now. Okay, so looking at the new side, it tells you to locate all the parts that were in the bag. I've confirmed that everything that looks like needs to be here is here. The mounting block, the clutches, the felt doodad, some sort of other interlocking doodad, etc. Made it all look pretty, and that's what's nice about a towel or a surface that you can work on. Everything is here. These look a bit different because the ones in the picture have got metal sort of bushels in them, whereas these are just plastic. I hope that's not going to be an issue. It could also just be the way the light caught the picture, but okay, fine, you know, we'll take it. We'll take it. So I've just got to make sure that I'm working on the right side. Now I've got to remember which side am I working on. And I remember I'm working on the left. So this clutch is marked L for left, and this one is marked R for right. And just taking a look at the clutch, it weighs a bit, and it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. It weighs more than the other one, and it looks beautiful. So I hope it goes in beautifully and works beautifully. This is plastic, or some sort of maybe high strength plastic, I would imagine. How long will it last? Probably last longer than it needs to. But that's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so let's continue. And this is what we've got left of our current motor assembly. And I guess this all needs to stay in place, right? There's quite a bit of grease in there. Do I want to take the grease out? Probably not. I probably just want to leave it as it is. I can't imagine you would need to do anything with that unless the instructions tell you to. So the first instruction I've got here: align the new terminal block with the holes in the motor assembly panel and press firmly into place. Now I'm assuming that these are the same. They're identical, so I don't think it matters which one you use where, and they look pretty identical to me. So let's do that. Let's put this into position. And I look at the picture here. You'll see there's two small screw holes here, and I assume that means that this is the way it goes. Of course. Sorry. Okay, that is the way it goes, and the way you know that is it's got those two little screw hole things. So pop that in there. Okay. Now it says using the Phillips screwdriver, thank you Phillips, secure the terminal block to the motor assembly. Okay, using the two number 8 screws provided. Okay, well there were old number 8 screws, but this should do the same trick, right? Now it says using an electric hand drill. Use the provided 1/4-inch bit to drill a hole through the motor assembly panel. There's no stepping back from this. If I screw this up, I'm in trouble. But let's just see. I guess that is that. Yeah. Let's drill the hole. And that's that. Okay, so we can resume now. I've had a bit of a freak out because the next step is to screw by hand in the new washers, which are obviously better. They're bigger and wider, which is fine. But I realized afterwards that my machine has a blanking plate over one of the holes. But luckily, I've discovered that with the long nose pliers, I can unscrew this. So it looks like it's just a pre-drilled hole, and you can unscrew this fourth new rubber isolation motor mount in. Okay, the only other thing that irks me, worries me, is this metal thing. Is this going to be a problem? I don't think so, because it seems to be below the metal spike. So although it's not in the photos on the instruction manual, I don't think that's going to be an issue. Okay. Place a nylon spacer at the end of the threaded main reel shaft. There's no washer in there at the moment. Let me just show that to you. You can see there, putting that in there. Okay. And then it says, grab one of these puppies and insert it over this part, like so. Okay, that looks encouraging. And you need to align this disc so the set screw is aligned with the flat spot on the shaft. Please note the shaft end should be flush with the disc. Okay, so let's get that thing out. Is this, let me just check if I've got the right size screw. That doesn't look right. Oh, he's gone up a size in this. This is oh, that's even better than the last one. So what I'm doing here is I'm just very carefully putting the disc flush. I'm just feeling with my finger where flush is exactly. Okay, the next step is to get one of the new bolts and put it through the recently drilled hole. Wow, okay, that fits in snug as a bug right there. Okay, and the wording is push the bolt into place until the head is flush with the surface of the panel. Okay. Now going to the other side, what am I looking at in this picture? It says place a felt pad, the pulley and 2 of the nylon spacers as shown in the picture. It's this thing over here. Okay, so you'll forgive me, this is the first time I'm doing this. So place the felt pad, okay, 1, the pulley, I'll just do it like it is in the pictures, and 2 of the nylon spacers, again the big ones or the small ones. I'm guessing the small ones from the picture. Please note the pulley groove may need to be positioned opposite of what is shown, pending belt alignment. Okay, so it looks to me what he has done here is on, even though it says that in the instructions, it looks like over here these pulleys he's supplying have got 2 pulleys, so you won't have to rejig that. You'll just be able to use pulley A or pulley B, which is great. Tighten the wing nut until the pulley requires minimal effort to turn with your fingers. The pulley should not spin or be loose. Okay. The wing nut has a nylon center, so it locks in place. Okay, so let's do that. I'm getting excited. Are you getting excited? That's a cool. Oh, this is tight. Oh my gosh, you need flipping bare hands here to do this. Let me just do that. Sorry, I've got very delicate fingers. Goes on, I guess the nylon is warming up and it's coming out quite well. Wow. Okay, let's just do that. I think if you were doing this all day, you'd probably get used to doing it and it would become just automatic doing this kind of thing. Oh my God. Tighten the wing nut until the pulley requires minimal effort to turn with your fingers. Minimal, okay. I guess that feels okay, right? Just a little addendum on the Movie Stuff clutch upgrade. I discovered that the reason I was struggling with the installation, I had a bit of a problem with the clutch not disengaging when I wanted to rewind the film. I had to speak with Movie Stuff and discovered that the wing nut and that assembly that uses a rubber belt around the clutch is key. It has to be set tight enough that it pulls the clutch back when the motor is reversed. And I hadn't tightened it up enough, so the clutch couldn't move off the position and it was engaged all the time and it was creating quite a nightmare. So I'll attach that video that Roger sent with that piece of very important information that has taken me 2 hours to figure out. We can continue to the next step, which is you get the motor back out. Now we're getting exciting. And we're going to stick with, obviously this is the left part. Now we're going to get the clutch out. Okay, so place a nylon spacer on the motor shaft as shown. Okay, so this is clearly the one they wanted on here. And put, okay, align the clutch set screw with the flat spot on the motor shaft. Okay, so the flat spot is there. Let's get the clutch, which is left, and we align that, I guess, like that, right? No. Kind of get a dead center and like that. Does that look right? Slide the new clutch assembly onto the shaft until the clutch just touches the spacer. Yeah, I guess it does. Then tighten the set screw using the 5/64 wrench. 5 and 65. Right, I guess that must be the small one. Let's just try the small one. See if that's the right one. Yeah. Okay, so that just touches. I don't know if that's going to be right, but anyway. I suppose the question is, will these screws come undone later? I'm too scared to think about that. I could use Loctite on that, but I'm not really an expert on using Loctite. I just did one tightening. I think that's good. I don't think that's going to go anywhere. Right. Insert the motor clutch assembly into position. Be sure to place a belt onto the clutch assembly before installation. Okay, so there's the belt, and I guess pop it in here. Let's see. Let me take that and put that in there. Put it through on that side rather. Okay. Okay, that looks plausible, right? Attach the motor to the panel using the original screws. Ah, okay. So these screws should be good to go again. It just goes on the back side of the motor. Okay, so that works. Okay. So it's supposed to go on the back, not on the front. Okay. Another wonderful, unnecessary mistake, but okay, fine. I don't know, I thought I was good at reading instruction manuals. Clearly I'm not. Okay, but that's easy to fix that problem. But that still doesn't solve the alignment issue then, as to why it looks so strange. Maybe the screws were just bending it too far. Bending it too far in or out. Let's see what we can do here. Perhaps it'll line up better now. It's got the spacers in the right place. Okay, so we're putting the spacers in here as we were supposed to originally, but we didn't. Looking at this, I can see why he's done 2 spindles. Let's just see. It has a bit of a smell, this plastic. I don't know, would this be, it doesn't look quite, oh, I see. Look at that. Let's see what's next. Okay. Reconnect the motor cables. Note the red motor wire and the cable with the white stripe are on the right terminal. Okay, so it's not going to be as pretty as this now. It's going to be looking like this. Okay, so and the red wire on the right. Okay, like that, and like that. Yowzers and schmauzers. Alright. Okay, that looks like it. So there's actually no electronic clutch. So we've gone from an electronic clutch to a purely mechanical one. Perhaps that'll be better. Yeah? Now he made... Please note the cable end should not protrude over the edge of the terminal block, or you will hinder inserting the motor assembly back into the housing. You will note that there is already a short motor cable attached to the block. You will note there is already a short motor cable attached to the terminal block. This is why purposefully in reverse to more easily test the unit outside the scanner. I'm being stupid here. When it goes back in the machine, it has to be connected onto the terminal. So in fact, then it will have 2 wires. Okay, so it will have 2 wires like that when it goes back in the machine, because the machine has. So the other wires will have to go like that. Okay. Gosh. Okay, so once you've fully assembled the new clutch and you have it in a position where you think it's good, the next thing to do is to test the assembly before you put it back in the movie stuff machine. So you'll need this cable. This is the cable that was supplied with your machine originally. It's a barrel jack to RCA, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to plug it into the 12-volt supply from my movie stuff transfer machine, and we're going to zoom in on the clutch assembly. And the first place we're going to plug it in, so you've got 2 RCAs. You've got one in the traditional configuration that goes into the machine, and this is a reverse polarity, so you can test it in both directions. I'm just going to turn it around so that I can give a better angle to you. I'm hoping that will be clear. And the trick is here to make sure that the bottom cog is able to spin when the machine is in gear. So first of all, let's put it in reverse. Now you'll see it in reverse, so that's in the opposite direction. So basically it's disengaged and it looks happy, and you'll see when I plug it in that is turning. Okay, if I unplug it now and put it into the correct polarity, the one that you normally would connect the machine to, so in other words, go into the play or the rewind mode depending which motor you're on, and there we go. So there you can see we've got the clutch engaged, and there we are. The wheel is spinning. You will notice that for some reason, and I don't know why, mine is a little bit, it's got a little bit of a tilt on the top. I don't know if that's something that happened in shipping originally. It's not enough to really cause a failure of anything, but it just happens to be on my machine. I've got a little bit of a wobble on there. I'm not mad about it, but I don't really know how to fix that. So there you can see the motor is driving the clutch, and then this is spinning. And let's just do one more reverse. And now she's disengaged. So that's just something very important to check before you install this back in your machine. And of course the only thing you'll need is this piece of cable that was originally supplied with the machine. Okay, so I'm back in the studio now, and I've assembled both clutches. I must say the second one took me about 50% quicker, maybe even more. It was so much quicker. It's always like that. So there's a point is me showing you another clutch disassembly and reassembly, but obviously I avoided a lot of the mistakes I made on the first one. So what I've done is I see what movie stuff meant in terms of the reverse polarity. This is in reverse polarity. This is the plug. I don't even know if you really need this to leave this connected, but I'm just going to leave it connected. But I've put some tape around it because I don't want it to touch anything and short out, you know, something in the servo board. That wouldn't be great. But this is the left clutch and left motor clutch assembly. We've got the white stripe going to positive, the black stripe going to negative. I hope that's the right way around. If it's not, we'll soon find out. But there we are. That's the first one. According to the photographs, if it may be the other way around on these photographs, but the white stripe looks like it's going to positive and the black is going to negative. And what's wrong in this illustration is it needs to be sideways so that it doesn't cause problems closing the machine. So I've done it sideways. I hope I have anyway. And what I've done is I've taken all the hardware for this new clutch kit, the Allen keys and the draw bit. I've put it in a bag and I'm just going to leave it inside there. So if I'm ever needing it in future, I know where to find it. Stand by. Okay, welcome back. Oh, light's bad. Let's get some reflection here. Trick is to get light under your face, right? Like that. Okay, so I've done both clutches and I've reinstalled them to the best of my understanding. I've insulated the RCA plugs because they seem to have the capacitors attached to them and I don't really want to fiddle with that. So I've just put tape around them so they don't touch anything inside. And I've just put 2 screws on each side of the motors just to make sure that they stay in when I test it. The next part of the job is, according to this, let's have a look and see. We've connected the wires like that. Just before I actually talk about it, we've connected the wires like that. So the red wire connects to the white wire of the machine, and the black wire connects to the black wire. Okay, so that's pretty much done. The clutch has been replaced. I've installed them. They seem to be free and clear. Now, this is the part that's a little bit more tricky, I guess. Because it's the electronics. Now, before you do anything electronic, make sure you've unplugged it. I mean, I know it sounds like a pretty obvious advice, but trust me, accidents happen. So we don't want any shorts. Those little logic boards, you make one little foobar and, well, you're a foobot. So just in saying that, because of the new clutch design, it works a bit differently to the old assembly. Apparently, before when you would start and stop, they would pretty much react immediately. Now there is a bit of delay as the logic circuit obviously reverses power, gets the clutch to either engage or disengage, and then it will start turning in the correct direction. We'll test that out in a moment. But let's now look at the next part of the installation. There are a couple of things to do still. There's I'm just throwing away the notes that I've obviously finished with, and again we're going to get the Phillips screwdriver and remove a circuit. So stand by. Obviously everybody's machine is different. Now I'm aware there's a new panel coming for these machines. I'm not too sure when that happens as part of the upgrade kit, but I assume that will be happening at a later point, and I'm very happy to make a video of that if you'd like me to at that point. These are all my different gates, and put them somewhere where they're not going to get lost. Well, they can't get lost if you put them on the floor, I guess. There we go. Checking, there's no power, that's good. And I've actually just unplugged the DC socket in the back. Let's take that out. Whoa! There's a lot going on here. Obviously your switch panel. There's some sort of voltage change, I guess 5 volt for logic perhaps. This is a 700 milliamp FlexBlock. Oh, lead free. Huh. Don't know about that. There's obviously the trigger for the camera. And I'm not too sure if that's a laser or infrared sensor, but anyway, I digress. This is nice. I like this design with the RCAs. That's kind of cool. Locate the long cable as seen in the photo. The long cable. All right, let's look here. On some unit, the cable is no longer present. Okay, that's clearly the problem. I don't have that cable. Okay. Oh, that saves a step. Unplug the cable bundle shown. So this is the cable bundle there. Okay. So, oh, I see. All right. So the cable bundle on this particular machine. So we need to unplug this cable. Gently lift. Okay. Well, we need to take these out. Now obviously be careful here, you don't want to damage this board. I guess that this board will be used for other people's, machines that haven't had the upgrade, and I suppose he's going to have a lot of spares now with these. Okay, that's loose, and this is kind of almost loose. Sorry. Okay, so we've got a cable tie and a plug. So let's just lift it up slightly and then pull it off, and there, wazoo. There it is. So I guess that has to go back to movie stuff. Okay, so let me go get the new board, I guess. And hopefully we can be almost done with this in just a sec. Okay, so let me get the old board. Okay, this one says 69, the old board says 54. Okay, 69 is the new one. So looking apart at the boards, do they look? This one looks a bit more simplified, if I would be honest with you. And perhaps it is in a way, because there's no electronic clutch on these new ones. So I guess that probably is part of that. And let's just pop that in. Let's just straighten that out. Let's get that in there. You've got to kind of do it at an angle and then get it in. Let's just make sure is that in? That's it. And I'm assuming it just goes the same way. So the lighting isn't so good in the office, and I apologize, but it's obviously... Yeah, it looks alright. Just like it to be dead on, you know. Just want it to be dead on there. Okay, happy with that. Now I've got to find those little screws. And I'm just going to hand tighten these. I don't have to make it... Now all of these controls and dip switches were pre-configured, and I'm not touching them. Plug the bundle into the multi-pin connection, replace the front control panel and secure. Proceed with installation of new clutch. All removed items need to be returned to movie stuff. Okay, well that's it, right? That's the job done. But yeah, we shall see soon enough. So we're going to plug it in just a moment. Stand by. Okay, so we've reinstalled the panel with the new controller logic board. We've installed the 2 new clutches, and we just put some reels on, and we're just going to use these as an indication of what it looks like now to run the new motors. I've done a bit of testing on it. I'm very pleased to say it seems to be working as it should, and let's see what happens when you push forward. So, and also listen to what you hear when you push forward. So there's a sort of a sound you hear when you push forward, which is like a, and there's a pause, and then it starts turning. Okay, but there she is. I'm not scanning at the moment. I'm purely running the motors, but you should be able to see there that the motors are running satisfactorily. Now I can throw it straight into reverse, and it automatically waits and rejigs itself, and then it will start going backwards. And I have also noticed that the rewind seems a lot faster. I think that's intentional, but I haven't looked further than that. But the rewind does seem a lot quicker. Let me just take off that crocodile clip, alligator clip, and we'll just do it like that and show you. Okay, so essentially a successful installation. I wish you a successful installation in your movie stuff scanner, if that's what you're going to be doing today or in the near future. So that's it from us here at AV Transfers UK. I hope you've enjoyed the video of the retrofit installation of the RetroScan. I think that's the right way to describe it. If you like technology and looking at old stuff and old video and audio and film technology, this is the place to find it, so consider subscribing, and thanks for watching. From me, Howard, ciao for now.